So, like I was saying, I live in an area where, and I realize this is not too different from where I used to live. You know what I mean? And I realize the reason why is because there's different types of people. It's like, when you hear the cliche of, like, there's people who are like, they're consumers, then there's the zoomer, the doomer. You remember, you've seen the memes. You know what I mean? Um, but I realize there's a lot of people to where they're content with living a certain way, and there's certain things that, like, they're more or less content. They will not fight or strive towards certain things, right? And I'm just a different type of person because I realize, and this is going to get dark, and this is probably going to piss some people off, but fuck it. 98% of what I say pisses people off and makes people look at me like, with judgment. And some things I'll say will probably even make some people fear for my sanity. But I'm just gonna say it as it is. I realize that when you wake up in the morning, if your days are not, someone said something really smart one time. I heard someone say, it was a woman said to this man, and I'll tell this story how I even heard this. I've never heard someone say this before, but I heard this because one time, uh, I had met some really nice people at this bar called Margaritas, and it was like, it was a black guy. It was, I think, I maybe I'm messing this up because it's so long ago. I maybe think it was an Asian lady, it was a black guy, and some other people or something, right? And I think there was a couple white people or something. It was like, I think it was an Asian woman. I don't even know if they were together, but I think they might have been friends. Like, I think it was an Asian woman and then a black guy, and it might have been like two white guys or something. Um, and normally people don't do things like this. Like, normally, someone's not going to see you at a bar and just be like, or bar slash eating place, whatever, and be like, hey man, we're eating, we're drinking, or whatever. You want something? You know what I mean? Like, we're about to get some tacos or whatever. Hey man, you want something? Or and they kind of just did like something weird, just like that. And they were really nice. They were really nice people. So, like, and they didn't seem like creepy, because that's an issue. I'm also want to speak on this too. Like I've said, talked about this before. It's gonna make some people mad, but I'm fucking saying it. You fucking gay ass motherfuckers out here that are on some, like, closet gay ass shit. Like, I'm not talking about some dude that, clearly is gay and is all feminine and clearly knows that, like, he, he's he's probably not, like, gonna just approach some man. But what I mean is, a lot of people around here, like, you be careful to be friendly with people, because some people, they might act like I said, just that general, like, hospitality type of friendliness that you see sometimes with people like that, like, inviting. Now, if they're in a group like that, this is a thing. I'm also going to lay this out in a format that you can understand. If it's a group and there's women intermingled with that group, and if the male fixation is on you, then something's probably wrong. Like, if the now, if it's all guys, and for some just weird reason or body language, or you see this, like, fixation on, then nah, bro, like, hell nah. You know what I mean? Um, you already know that. But what I'm saying, this is just like psychology. You know what I mean? But it's just the way you learn things. Like, but what I'm saying is, if the dynamic of this group is like, they look happy, they look welcoming, and they look like they're just having a good time, and the key sign, which is not a red flag, it's the opposite of a red flag. If there's women in the mix, it shows that it's probably more of a healthy atmosphere. You know what I mean? Because it shows, like I said, these men are most likely, they're straight men. Either the girls are friends or there's their girlfriend or something. You know what I mean? These people are not probably some sexual deviants. You know what I mean? They're probably just literally being hospitable, and they're just offering you something because they're just that nice and they're just that friendly. That's a great thing. You know what I mean? But with all that being said, but I know someone's gonna say, "Oh, you're bashing on us because I'm the guy that wants the dick in my ass." Well, this ain't the channel for you, bro. You know what I mean? Because I know some of you guys, you're that guy. Like, you, like, is you're one of them. motherfuckers. Like, out here on some shit, wishing that you could run into some, like, it's disgusting, but that's a lot of you people, you know what I mean? It could even be one of you motherfuckers watching this rant right now, for all I know. I don't know who the fuck really watches this channel, but it could be. So I don't know why you'd want to sit through this, you know, if I'm talking about you. But anyway, so this group, um the girl said something to the effect of, like, we collect remember, we don't collect things, we collect memories, right? She said, I'm leading up to something. She said, you know, we don't collect things, we collect memories, right? And I was thinking, you know what? That's really profound. That's, like, really, really profound, because, like, it's the truth. Think of it, really. Like, yeah, we collect things. There's things we like in life. Like, yeah, you like some nice things, you know what I mean? Like, you can probably not really see it good in the background, but if you see the red and yellow thing, that's my, it's the takedown. It's my Nerf takedown. And of all my Nerf, which I don't have a lot, but that's, like, my favorite one, is that Nerf takedown, because I just love it. You know what I mean? It's just something about it. Has a modded spring. It has a lot of power behind it. It could probably knock that glass right there. There's a glass over there. It could probably knock that glass straight off that table, if not break it, or knock it off and break it. So it's just something, and it's accurate. You know, a lot of these, like, airsoft and Nerfs, they're not accurate. They're not, that one's more or less very accurate. When you point it at something, it goes where you're pointing it, and it hits with a lot of power. So I just love it, you know what I mean? And that's what I mean. It's like, it's just a toy. It's all it is a toy. But that's my point of, yes, we like things. Just like that glass over there. I like that little fancy glass that I bought. And I like it because it's a nice little thing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of things. But you have to understand, it's more or less the memories that you experience with people and those things. But it's usually boils down to the people. Good experience, I mean. Really, really valued experiences. Like I said before, I've talked about this before. Like experiences you have with, like, a girl that you love, like your girlfriend, like a, you know, and not a bad situation that ended up bad. I mean, a good situation, like someone that, you know, ended up being your future wife or something like that, or like when you know, had really good close friends, and you had, you know, days that, not like this, how do you say it? It's not like the planning fell to crap, but that the planning went right and everything went right. You know what I mean? It's those type of memories. Like, everything was on point. You know, you probably went to bed probably from partying. You probably went to bed drunk or high or something, or both. And you just realize, like, man, that day was so good. Like, I wish I could live that day a bunch of times again. That's what I mean. Like, you collect memories. You know what I mean? And when you die, because you will die, we all die. When you die, I'm pretty sure you will have many of those memories. If not, I don't even know how it works. I don't know. I've never been dead before, technically. So, like, really dead. So, what I'm saying is, I don't know if you will even have all those memories stored somehow. Maybe so. I don't know. You know what I mean? Um, but my point is, life will seem like pointless many days. Like, many times I wake up in the morning thinking, like, this isn't worth it. You know what I mean? Like, this is not worth it to get up and experience this again. Because there was nothing outstanding about this day, or situation, or experiences I've had. Like, in a month, sometimes I can say it. Like, there's nothing I do. It's just the same old thing. You know, you get up, pound in hours at work, come home, then barely have anything you really want to eat because everything's so expensive. So you're trying to basically go to a pantry. You know, you're trying to, and you really understand that, like, this would not be the same if I had money. Like, this would be totally different if I had a lot of money. This would look totally different, you know. But then you have other people to where they're not trying to do that. And then second off, I'm gonna use this bag as a prop for my back. Second off, someone's like, "Why don't you look into the?" Because I don't like looking into the camera. You know what I mean? It's like, it just feels awkward me staring at a camera rather than looking at the screen. But whatever. So, and there's not really comfortable places to sit in this room either. It's not a This is not a good camera setup. So, what I was saying was, a lot of people make sure the volume's up too. Make sure this volume's up, you guys. Yeah, put it up even more. So, what I was saying was, like I said about the contentment, these people don't want to create anything. These people don't want to create content. They don't want to. How do I say this? What I'm saying is they're. I know what I'm saying. Their version. That's the word. Their version of certain meaningful instances or activities and memories is totally different thing compared to mine. That's what I'm trying to say. Like they'll say, "Oh, well, this is a good day," or "That was a good day," or sometimes even not. You know what I mean? I see some people where they're literally just like killing themselves slowly. You know what I mean? Drugs and alcohol every day, homelessness, drug addiction. It's just like you just like one time I was on the bus, and I remember this. I'll never forget this. One time I was on the bus. This is very recently, right? And I shit you not, right? I wasn't even like close technically to this person because they were just a seat ahead, and they just reeked. Like I could their stench. It was just like I could just literally smell the stench of funk. Like the clothes hadn't been washed, probably haven't taken a shower in days or weeks. Dirty, you could just physically see the dirt on them, and they were high as hell. And this guy was talking about how many meth hits he did and how many meth hits these. I'm thinking like, bro, you're like you're inches away from death, bro. Like you're literally like you're on the verge of being like death is at your door. Like you could die the next day actually if you do the wrong dosage or whatever. You're gonna die. You know what I mean? And I was just thinking of like see like a person like that. I look at it like I'm not saying that you want that lifestyle, but what I'm saying is if you don't want that lifestyle, you have to start moving opposite to it. You have to move. You have to because if you don't, you're just going to keep perpetuating that cycle over and over and over and over and over, and that is not like. I don't think that's something you really want. You know, like maybe you think you want it. Maybe that addiction has you thinking that high is the best thing in existence, but I don't think it is. You know what I mean? Like my point is like what I'm trying to say is comparatively, like I can't look at myself and ever think I would even want that. Like, cause I don't. First off, I don't want that. Second, I'm not even gonna like. It's not. It's not a thought. It's not a desire. It's not a thought. I don't want to. I don't want to do meth hits. You know what I mean? Um, nah, man. Nah. Like those aren't the type of experiences that I want. You know what I mean? And the point I'm trying to make is that if you get up in the morning and day in and day out, your experience is filled with uncertainty, meals that you didn't want to eat, but you had to eat them, you know, not the right means to meet anybody that you'd want to meet, you know, could barely find a woman that's even attractive enough for you to even want to talk to. You know what I mean? Like, because that's the thing I think is weird about. Now I'm trailing off, but it's there. This is a real thing. You know what I mean? This is why we like attractive women. You know what I mean? This is why average guys like myself or below average like attractive women because we don't want. It's like one of the weirdest things too, which is a misconception too I learned is like some people think that like average women or even ugly women are single. Not even. They're not even. Even they have always have someone. You know what I mean? Something going on. But you don't want them anyway. That's the thing. You don't even want that. It's like it's kind of like how you don't want like certain low quality things. Like you just don't want that shit anyway because it's not what you want. You know what I mean? It's like there's so much better and so much more. But the problem is women are just scattered. You know what I mean? Like generally you're not gonna see like a high quality woman like five of them all in one spot at the same time. No, what you're gonna see is you're gonna see like 10 busted women, you're gonna see 10 average women, and then you're gonna see like two really good looking ones. You know what I mean? And then you're gonna see that same, like 10 to 6 to even like more. And then you're gonna see a few good looking ones, you know what I mean? Where and it's just one of those horrible things of life. Like you have to realize at the end of the day, um, just like things can be oversaturated, life in general and civilization is it's just oversaturated. It's chaotic. It's a gamble. It's like you'd be lucky to get anything that you want. You know what I mean? And the point I'm trying to make is life is fucking pointless if you're not getting what you want out of it. You know what I mean? If half of your time is you're investing your time, your money, your emotions in either a business that you don't want to work for, people you don't want to be around, or your life is pretty much survival. Like my life is survival because there's not, like I said, I don't want to be around anyone that's near me. I don't give a shit about anybody that's around me. I don't give a shit about anywhere that is around me mostly for the most part. I only use like certain places outdoors or parks or whatever as a means of exercise. Um, it's not a good social place because, like I said, there's not an influx of people socializing there that I would want to socialize with. People that have the types of hobbies that I'm into are so far spread out in vast other places that it's very how do I say this? At the end of the day, all I'm doing is trying to make a little money to save a little money. So it's not fun. It's like I said. I wake up most days and I'm like thinking like, there's no point of even living. There's no point of there's no point to. It'd be easier just to go off myself. But then also I think parts of my ego would say I wouldn't want to be that person that ended up like that. You know what I mean? Because like, well, why would I do that? You know what I mean? It's like so everything I did was basically a waste on top of a waste. So that means you're everything you worked for in that moment was somewhat of a waste. I mean, you may have some memories that are good, but few. Like a person like myself, have very few memories that are actually I could say are fond memories because there's so much. Um, it's the premise of it that screws it up. That it's not really a good memory. Just like I don't go back into my head as a child and ever think like I had a memory I really am fond of because the circumstances always ruin it. Like for instance, like my parents, um, we were always poor, right? So we were always poor, and my mother and father weren't really like together. You know what I mean? It's like they were together, but they split up, and then it was like he was cheating, and then the classic stupid black people shit that you always see in black people's homes. Um, and I look at it like from the lens of I hated so much of it. Like now when I think back, it's like I hated how like all I wanted was this little stupid Godzilla action figure. But on Christmas, like yeah, maybe there were some toys that I had that like I liked. That I was stuff I really wanted or didn't even know I wanted. They just surprised me. I was like, oh, I didn't even know about that really, but just okay. But then most of that, like 98% of memories, was me always just wanting things I could never touch. It was like, oh, if I wanted this toy, if I wanted that, or if I wanted to go here, or want to go there. Nah, it wasn't happening. You know what I mean? Because of money. You know. So this is what I mean about like when you have uh, desires and aspirations and things, and it seems like it's an impossible feat to get there. It makes most of your day a survival situation. You know, like it's like you're trying to work towards that you could even have maybe the chance of something. it's kind of like it's kind of like when you're about to approach a woman, right? And you're about to ask her out, right? It's like in your head, you have the chance technically of that because number one, we live in a society to where we're not segregated anymore. So me as a black man can just do just that. You know what I mean? Without being like running the chance of getting lynched. You know what I mean? Or put in jail or beat to death or whatever horrible thing, right? So we live in a society to where I can just do just that, regardless however I want to. You know what I mean? Um, but the thing is, you have a possible chance because she may say, "Nah," you know what I mean? It may be just a no. You know what I mean? Like many other things, it's just like it's a no. Um, but you get what I'm saying. It's like you're always fighting for like a chance. I mean, hell, even if you have the money, like I said, like you have the vehicle, you can go around all these places and you can um, do all these things. And you can go where you want to go, when you want to go, and talk to as many women as you want, and you can try to make as many networks and connections as you could possibly ever want. It's still a chance that your ugly ass or my ugly ass ain't gonna cut it. Like she's just gonna say no. You know what I mean? Like you could tell her all day. Like you could try to tell her money shit. Like you could be like, oh well, you know, I have a platform and I make passive income because, you know, I make sales and I run ads and I have connections. You know what I mean? Be like, and look, I have this vehicle and I could pay for gas and I could take you wherever you want, whenever, and get this. I have time to travel here and I can do this and, that's like some women, maybe that's all they're about, or that's like the biggest thing that could. Some nah, or maybe they've already dated men that look better than you, and have all that. I don't know. You know what I mean? So who knows? My point is, I'm trying to make is like it's a chancy thing. The the key is the strategy. The str- the strategy is that basically you spread your net so wide, like I said, if it is even going so many places to talk to so many of these women, that inevitably one hits. That inevitably one just sticks. And you're like, oh man, I nailed it. I'll tell you a story, right? Someone will say, okay, so how did you meet your ex girlfriend, right? How did you meet her, right? Um, I'm gonna tell this story how I met her. So, because some people are probably curious, like obviously you're watching a video, you're curious, how'd you? So how I met her was the weirdest scenario ever. It was just so weird but mundane at the same time. So, like I said before, I'm a person who stays inside, has to budget, has no other choice to budget like crazy. Um, Obviously can see through BS, so I know not when not to socialize. I know when to socialize. I know um, that you have to be very direct, and when you go outside and do things, you have to go where you want and get what you want very directly. There's not a lot of time for like uh, procrastination. You know what I mean? So I woke up and I'd watched the movie Critters the night before, and I had to go to Market Basket to get, which is a store. I had to go get foil and I had to go get chicken, right? A stupid little cheap rotisserie chicken because I need protein. You know, I need meat, and I also needed foil. So, and the foil is to house the chicken. You know what I mean? The foil is more or less to house it because it may need to be reheated. When it's fresh, it's hot already, but if you put it in the fridge and take it out, it needs to be reheated. So, I went to go pick up those items, right? Um, I was halfway into. So I go to pick up those items, and all of a sudden I see a very nice silhouette. I see a very attractive silhouette in line, like the obvious huge ass, huge hips, relatively small waist, long dark hair. I see that, fair, very pale, fair skin. And I was like, oh, I didn't even see her face yet, but I was like, man, I already know. You know what I mean? I was like, I already know what I'm looking at. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go through like through a different aisle, and I'm going to cut around and see if I could cut her off and try to like approach her, right? So what had happened was, uh, when I tried to do that, thinking she was going to go towards where I was, because she started to, she actually turned and then she actually ended up going out the store. And I was like, damn it, I missed it. I was like, she's gone. Like, and in my head, I'm thinking, oh, she's probably gonna go back to her car. She probably has like a boyfriend or husband or something waiting out there. He's probably gonna drive her off, right? But what happened was actually, she ended up being where they parked the carts at because she hadn't left yet, which I was incredibly surprised when I had left the store, when I had actually got my shit and got out the store, right? So then I noticed it was her, and I just just told her like, hey, you know what? Like, you're really really attractive. My name is Steve. I want to know if we could exchange numbers. You know what I mean? And I already had my number ready because I often do this where I'll have it in my wallet. You know what I mean? So it's written down already on a piece of paper. Doesn't I don't have to go looking through my phone and all that bullshit. I can just pull it out and give it to the girl, right? So surprisingly, which usually never happens, usually I'll get like, oh, I'm engaged, or I'm married, or I have a boyfriend, or oh, I'll even get some crazy shit like, oh, I'm a mother of 6 kids, or one time this woman, a mother of 9 kids. One time, there's this woman that I was talking to, um, and we were having like just a chit chat, and I was telling her, how attractive she is, and I was, you know, asking if we could like get to know each other and shit. And she told me she had 9 kids, and I believe her. I mean, she didn't look like she had 9 kids, and I'm saying that like is in good way and in a sort of perverted way. Like, I mean, I don't know how other way to put this, but basically she was a Helen Parr, Miss Incredible looking type, and it was very tall at the same time, like a sort of tall, scaled up version of that sort of look. And I'm like, God damn. I understand why you had 9 kids, because your husband, obviously, duh. Like, I wouldn't too. But, you get what I'm saying. But the whole thing was, she told me, oh, oh, no, I'm single, and then she actually told me, oh, I'll call you. She's like, I'll call or text you tomorrow, right? And she did just that. So, what ended up happening was, I had ended up meeting her. She wanted me to come over very soon, the next day. So we ended up going. I ended up going over. Um, we were hanging out. We're talking about things and stuff like that, and blah 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 blah. And then obviously at some point, obviously the relationship became sexual, like duh, like it is. But it didn't work out because, like I said, I told you in the previous rant, the first part of this, was just how she just was out of control. You know what I mean? She's out of control, and she made decisions that put her in a situation where she's basically a slave to her children. You know what I mean? And a slave to her own uh, poor choices. So it just never worked. You know what I mean? And there's more to it, but I'm not even going to go into it because I'm not mean enough to incriminate. I'm not going to say something that's going to incriminate her, because I could say things to get her ass in trouble, but I'm not going to say it. You know what I mean? But she has put herself in a situation where she is in trouble. This is my biggest issue with her, man. My biggest issue with her, because my issue is this: she she's not ready to make changes in herself to make it work. It's not worth it for her to say, okay, I'm wrong, I need to change, and then we could make this work, right? And I'm gone. And see, with me, I'm like, nah, I'm out of there because I told her this personally. I said if it wasn't for the kids, I would at least be willing to try. But this is out of control. This the children in this is your children is not you no. So I'm saying all that to say is like you have to spread your net very wide with things. Like you have to make sure that you are talking to a lot of these women. Um, which for me, that even that is hard. So my thing, the only thing I can do is if I'm in the right environment, like obviously not working because on work you're not supposed to do this, you get fired. If I'm in the right atmosphere, I can't have any type of fear. I can't have any type of what's it called, unconfidence, whatever. If I see a girl that I like, I just go talk to her. I mean, that's my mentality. Um, Now, if it seems like they just do not want to be bothered, like let's say or they're on the phone or they're on a business meeting or something, like which I've seen girls on the phone, just but it's a business. That's different. You know what I mean? If you know, like you get the vibe that like she doesn't want anything to do with you, she doesn't even want to be approached. If she really has that look and that body language and vibe, then I say just probably no, just leave her alone. You know what I mean? But other than that, you have to go talk to these women. You know what I mean? You can't be a pussy. You can't be soft. You can't be you know. No, that doesn't work. It doesn't. It just that does not work. The only time you being like timid and more reserved as a person works, and you getting approached by a woman, is if you're in a certain setting with certain type of women or woman. You know what I mean? That's the only time that that actually works, and that's very rare. And like I said, I don't have the funds, the means, the this, the that to be putting myself in those type of circles and places, or else I would. Duh. You know what I mean? To be approached by these women, and there's kind of a double-edged sword to that too, because some of these, I'm just gonna be honest, a lot of these women that are just like, oh, carefree, approaching the guy all down to earth and they're the one that actually approaches you and all that are some hoes. A lot, not all of them, but a lot of them are just some party girls. That's what I call them, party girls. The party girl is the girl you see on TikTok that has the booty shorts, then she's got the plaid shirt wrapped around like this, and then she's on the beach, and then she's got the top, but she's got the cut off, what I'm talking about, with this big tattoo on her leg, and she's the petite white girl that has the big hips and the big ass with the tattoo and then the hoop rings, but then she's got the shirt, and then she's got the booty shorts and the tattoo, and she's on the beach, or she's at the party, and she's approaching you. Now all of that type of shit, and she's approaching you, or she and other friends are approaching you. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Like I said, maybe she's a nice girl, someone that you could actually have a real relationship with. Maybe wife material, maybe. Often, it's just a hoe and a party girl, and you're just a new cock. You know what I mean? Or you're just a new attractive thing at the beach or some shit. That she hasn't, the ride she hasn't ridden yet or whatever. You know what I mean? And that's all fun and cool when that's all you want. You know what I mean? And that's fine. Like I said, it's good to have friends like that, to have girls that you can just, all it is a friendship. You guys have fun, you do fun things, you party, and you have the benefit of, you guys obviously have sex and shit. But that's another thing. I'm talking about when you're actually looking for women like that you want a wife type of material, that you're trying to have as like a future wife. Um, you have to look. What I'm saying is you have to be a certain way about those things. But I'm saying all that also to say, when you don't have, the fun and the parties, and you don't have the recreational things, and you don't have the friendships with people of substance, and you are stuck in an environment of, a very disgusting, very dead, very stale environment to where people often have, I dare say, agendas, and even down to certain types of lifestyles that you're just not for by any means, want nothing to do with it. Um, whether that is closeted or whatever the fuck they be doing. Um, you know, when you're in an environment like I am, and then you're a person like myself, it's psychologically a killer. You know what I mean? It's psychologically, it makes you want to die most of the time. Like you wake up and you're like, you don't want to live anymore. You're like, you wake up and you're just so depressed because you realize the environment you're actually in. You know what I mean? Like you realize that there are some of the better people and places and things in the distance, but like you gotta go out and get them. You know what I mean? But you have to. How do you do that? That's my question. Is like, how do you do it? Well, with money is how you do it. That's how you do it. You know what I mean? But how do you get the money? That's my whole thing. How do you get the funds? How do you get the means, right? And this is another thing I have to say. Often, if you meet a person and this person is projecting as if they could help you with these type of things or whatever, I'm just gonna be real with you, bro. I'm gonna be 100% honest. 98% of the time, it's too good to be true, and I'm gonna keep it fucking 100% real. If a person is coming at you like that, it's usually, whether you're a man or a woman, it's because they want to fuck you or some shit. It's because they're on some gay or some whatever type of sexual ass shit that you don't want, but that's really what it is. You know what I mean? Because it's just it's not saying it's too good to be true, but it's just that the chances are that if in this environment there's that type of person that you meet, if there really was really a good person, or they really had your best interest in mind, or was trying to offer you any type of um, dealing that you actually want yourself, the chances of that are astronomically low. You know what I mean? If you're living in an area where I'm living, you know, you live where I live, you got like the bar over here, you got I'm living in a rooming house, you got whatever the fuck type of characters are in this motherfucker. You got some people that's like, I can at least trust them to a degree. Like I can trust them, like, okay, they're not going to steal my package. They're they're probably just minding their own business. They're just doing their own thing, whatever. That's cool. Everybody's doing their own thing. Um, but then you got like the people who live in their houses, older people. You know what I mean? Married couples. Then you got the junkies, and you got the homeless, and you got people who are fucking buffoons and don't know how to live in real society, and you got all the mentally ill motherfuckers, and you know perverts, deviants, sex offenders, and all this shit. Like the lowest class of the whole, just the lowest bottom of the fucking barrel, motherfuckers that like I'm sure even the most shady person wouldn't want to do any type of dealings with because all that. So the chances of you in Concord, where I live, New Hampshire, in the city area, it's very low chance that you actually really meet someone that's just just a similar person to yourself, but they have something or have things where they're just like, hey man, I know this person, that person, I like to do this, and I see what you're trying to do over here, and I'm into that too, and I'm gonna help you out because I understand that you're trying to do this and that. It's just rare. You're just normally not going to see that, and it's not good. It's horrible. But it's the truth. I'm just giving you the honest opinion, and I'm actually what I'm also doing is I'm helping some of you people out there watching this who want to do things, but maybe it hasn't clicked in your head of some of the deviant people that lurk amongst society. You know what I mean? That are not trying to really help. Like they may even help some people, genuinely some people. But this is what I mean about the perversion. I talked about this before in another rant, which I may even link in the description, maybe. I talked about the perversion of the in degeneracy and breakdown of this society, to where um you get very sexually perverted and deviant people. You know what I mean? You get people to where um and it's not even necessarily that they're trying to do anything illegal a lot of times. It's the problem. The problem is this. The problem is simply this: is that they're secretive about what they're doing, and a person like myself, and probably a person like you watching, wants nothing to do with that gay ass shit, dude. It's like, nah, nobody wants to be doing no shit like that with another man, bro. Unless that's what you're into, but we're not into that. But the problem is, they're attracted to men, and just in general. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers are on some down low gay shit. This is like the simplest way I could really put it. They're on some the type of these deviants I'm talking about, these type of people, to where yeah, in society they look normal. Like yeah, they look normal from the first glance. But if you were to actually have a conversation with some of these people, you already tell. You can already tell very fast. Like, yo, you are on some fucking gay ass nasty shit, bro. You are on some shit that like you're not presenting like that in the public. Like you're not going out in the public and necessarily going around telling people that that's what you do. Yo, that's what you're trying to do. That's what you want to do, or that's what you be doing out here on the slide, bro. So you run into that in the business world even too. You run into that shit in a lot of places. Like you just notice like, oh nah, man, like you're like, here we go with this shit. Like I know these people are on some nah, you know what I mean? And the thing is, see, there's some people in life who will be bought. You know what I mean? Or just like there are some men out here who are literally gay for pay individuals. You know what I mean? Like they necessarily might not even really like I guess necessarily doing gay shit, but for the right price, they'll do some gay shit if someone is paying the right price. And it could even be that they have a drug addiction or something, or you know, like a drug addiction or some shit or whatever. So at the end of the day, that drug means more to them than their own manhood or their own dignity or their own sexual preference as a man. That they know they like women, but they'll do some gay shit because they think it'll get them money and perks and some drugs. You know what I mean? Like I've had someone say this term, which is hilarious, this slang, jokingly calling someone hobo, not homo, but hobosexual, like a homeless person that'll do some gay shit just to you know to sleep in a house for the night, or do some gay shit to get drugs or some gay, you know, because basically their sense of like identity or morality or goes out the window if enough is put in front of them. You know what I mean? And shit, man. I mean, if that's the type of shit people are doing, it's your life, but it ain't fucking me. I will cut your fucking head off, bro. So I'm dead serious. I will murk you. I'm not that type of guy. I mean, I'm not that type of guy that plays around with some shit like that. And I'll also say on that coin, I'm not the type of guy who even wants to do any type of business with a person who is on no shit like that, man. Because I look at it like this: if you're gonna be on some gay ass shit like that, be honest and open about it. You know? And maybe I would even consider having any type of business dealings with a person that is at least open about what they're doing. But what disgusts me and what like totally puts out red flags in my mind is a person who tries to be secretive about something like that or something as big as that, and then they try to befriend people or try to socialize. And especially, you ain't gonna socialize with a motherfucker like myself. You is not. And I don't care how fucking what type of fake facade you try to put on or what fake fucking background you try to lay down. Nah, because I already know like you're not gonna be you're not going to be one or two things. It's like you're not going to be the type of person that could even vibe with me on a certain level if you're also that. Like, nah, it's just a no. You know what I mean? It would be very few and far in between a person that I could actually respect that is like that, because it's like, how could you like what? You know what I mean? It's like, shit. At least be honest about it, man. If that's what you're doing, be honest. Don't be trying to, because that's one thing I hate is when I just hate it. It makes me feel like you think you're so sly that you think I don't see the bullshit that you're on, and then it also makes me think like, so you think that you're reputable enough to interact with me? Because nah, you're not. You're not. You're not. People like you and me don't get along, and for good reasons. Like I said, I look at people like you, and I want to saw. I look at people like that, and I'm like, man, I'm thinking about sawing your goddamn head off. I'm thinking about murdering you, bro. Like, I don't even like your vibe, like your opinion. Like, you're the opposite of what I'm trying to. Like, nah, fuck no. You know what I mean? Um, and there's a lot of people like that out here. There's a lot of people like that. You know what I mean? And they are what they are. But what I'm saying is, as an individual, if you're not about that shit, you need to be able to see. You need to be able to see what people's motives and intentions are. You know, to understand critically if you would even want to have any dealings with a certain person. Like, because like I said, you just think of it this way. It's like, would you let um like, I'll even make it less a different type of offense. Like, would you let a person who's known for stealing into your home? You know what I mean? Like, would you really want to? Would you feel comfortable? Would you feel comfortable working around someone, or have someone working on your property that you know is a kleptomaniac, or someone that you like? Would you? No, because you're always going to be thinking in the back of your mind that, like, they're always looking at everything in here like it's a candy store 5 finger discount. No, you're just not gonna, like, no. It's just, it doesn't mix. It's just two things that could never mix. You know, um, it's that same type of concept. It's not that hard to understand. So that's the reason why. Fuck. I mean, I don't. That's why I don't understand. Like, why would you ever want to work with people who are either like I said, some type of sex offender, pedophile, sexual predator, sexual deviant, closeted whatever type of thing, sexual closeted whatever. Why would you want to ever be around that? You know what I mean? It's just nothing. It's nothing. If someone say, "Oh, well, that's uh homophobic and discriminate," man, like I said, I will saw your goddamn head off. I don't care what type of discriminated or you think phobic you want to throw at me. You'll be phobic when your ass is dead. No, I mean, I'll be phobic. I'll be whatever phobic you want to call me, but your ass is be dead. I'll tell you that. Or you'll be one hurting motherfucker. Get that through your head before anything. Don't be, because you could throw whatever type of slur you want at me and call me this and full, man. I don't give a fuck. What I'm saying is, a motherfucker that has any self-respect like myself does not deal with that type of shit. Does not do business. Does not deal with that. That's just like, come on, man. Nobody wants to deal with that, really. And when I say nobody, I mean there are some weirdos that really don't care, but like myself, nah, man, nah, nah. Like, unless, I mean, there is a gray area, but it really has to be like, you have to understand two things. What are you getting out of this business relationship with a person, and what are they getting out of it? Like, for instance, if it's some simple thing where this person necessarily is not like wanting something from you that you are not willing that you're willing to give, like something, that you would actually do. You know what I mean? Like something as simple as like, I don't know, maybe they know someone that like promotes something. You know what I mean? Something like that. Something like that. You know what I mean? Or maybe they have like a legit platform or something, and you had a talent or something, and they wanted you to showcase that or collaborate with something. But that's actually what all it was. You know what I mean? Then you have to think really, really, really hard. Like, do you want to really have a business relationship with that person? Because all that other nasty shit, it's just like the hard. Even if you take it to a super high level, like this is Harvey Weinstein and friggin' P Diddy, the whole the gas P Diddy predatory behavior. It's like you'd have to think, if you were a really big person, you'd have to really think like, hey man, do I really want to do business with this person? Because, or is this that all this is this guy wants to do some gay shit with my ass, knowingly that I'm not with that shit, but thinks somehow that they're gonna give me enough money or some. It's like, bro, you have to actually, just in general, on a daily basis, look at people like that. Like, yo, what's really your agenda? What the fuck is your agenda, man? Like, what are you really trying to do? You know, I know what I'm doing, but what are you actually doing? You know what I mean? And if somebody's trying to approach you or trying to have a bond or trying to have a fucking whatever connection with you solely based on some shit that you will never do, that you never want to have anything to do with in this life, then there can't be. Then there's no you like I said. You better tell them to fucking go off somewhere. You know what I mean? Or be fucked up, or be hurt. Because that's the only way. Or maybe it won't even take all that. It might not even take all that. You know what I mean? But you get my point, right? My point is my point is that life can be pointless if all you're doing is struggling. You know what I mean? In the fight is to get something and get somewhere. You know what I mean? That's what the fight is. The fight is to get something and get somewhere. The fight is that, right? It's not necessarily about, oh, I'm just grateful to be here, I mean, whatever, to each his own. You know what I mean? But a person like myself strives and fights for things. You know what I mean? It is not about no BS, and values things in life that can be and should be valued, not nonsense. So, and I'm saying this because this is not popular opinion. I'm saying this because this is things people don't want to say or don't want to hear, right? But it just goes to show you what type of world we live in, and generally what type of buffoon that we have running around believing misinformation that they're believing. This is Steve's Art and Fun channel. Man, I mean, I guess I could call this like part two to the ignorance comes in many forms rant. Uh, like, comment, and sub, hit the bell icon. Um, and like, I wish I could rant on something more positive, but I kind of tend to rant on what's going on in the current state, my current state in life. And like I said before, I've ranted about for almost a damn hour. Is this is where I am because I'm trying to get opposite of that. I'm trying to get to a place to where this is not my life. You know what I mean? That this is not my life. I'll be talking about other things. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, these are my friends I met from blah blah blah, and we were doing this and blah 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 blah. Like, I met this girl here, and blah 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 blah. My channel is doing good because of blah blah blah. This is what I did to do this and get this, and not me getting angry and wanting to literally saw people's heads off, beat people up, and murder people over the fact that I don't like the way they are. And I don't like the stench or the vibe of what I'm in. Like I don't like this. You know what I mean? Like this makes me want to murder people. Like this makes me want to go postal. You know? And I'm just saying it, you know what I mean? Kiss my ass. Someone that say, you can't say that on you. Those are threats. Man, it's not a threat. It's if it depends, it'll be a promise, bro. It's not a threat. So take that, shove it up your ass. Saying all that, it's a threat my ass. It's worse than a threat. So this is Steve's Art and Fun channel. We don't always bullshit on this channel. Sometimes we just keep it real. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm not bullshitting. I'm not trying to sugarcoat shit. I'm just being real. So that's the end of the rant. And have a good one.